So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And on a Zoom, people, on a Zoom, not on any other platform, on
Not any
Zoom
other
today.
platform.
Not that
Yeah.
I'm, giving Zoom any extra that they need, but hey, kind of addicted. Um, what are you doing to us, Mr. Giack Bazz? What are you doing to us?
I'm testing strategies and creating a conversation as always.
You
I've
know,
always tried to make my platform for making people think. So I'm trying.
you know what? I love that you said that because it is true. It is true. You've made people think and you've made people talk. You've
Mm.
definitely made us here at YDN talk.
What did you say?
What did
Terrible
we
thing.
say? Oh, so you're not listening to the shows when we play you every
No,
bloody week,
I didn't.
mister.
I didn't. I was working. I was.
Was she
I worked.
working?
I work late. I work late. I'm a sound engineer. That's how I can afford these crazy projects.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, we have a new presenter called Tamsin, who
Mhm.
covers me
That
here.
I've heard.
That
Yeah.
you've heard? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's fantastic. She came on board because, like you, I've found some other work, so I tour now every few
Uh-huh.
months. So I need a cover, and she's come on board, and she's amazing. And I told her, I said, Have you seen his post?" And she's like, "What? What's going on?" And then, of course, the day I told her was a Thursday, and she was covering me that day, and I managed to listen to half of her show. And of course, she couldn't help herself. She couldn't help herself.
What'd
And
you say?
oh, you're just going to have to listen back to hear
I'm
what we're
gonna have.
saying.
Where do we find? Let's help our listeners too. Where do we
Yes,
find the rest
well,
of
you can either go, well, actually, it's best to go directly to SoundCloud. You can go through YDN
Uh-huh.
Radio Brighton's website as well, but
I'll just post it.
Tamsin's currently only on the SoundCloud. You can't get to via the website.
Ah, awesome.
Teething issues with new staff. That's all I can say about that. That's
Okay.
it. I'm not going to say anymore. So you have new music which hasn't arrived to me. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Technology,
I
new
have no
computer,
idea. Outlook, not Outlook, OneDrive is
OneDrive. Just remember to send it without a password.
that's what I tried to do, but I think I was
Oh,
using my work laptop, so it must have been blocked because of that.
yes, that
Uh,
happens.
yeah.
That does happen. So just send it from your own Gmail today, and we'll get it in there. So new music. Well, that's good because
Yeah.
I will say that when I saw your post, I was like, what? No more music?
No more
That
music.
no, he can't. No, this is not right. I literally nearly reached out and went, "What?" I thought,
You
"No,
okay?
no, you're not his mother. Okay,
Uh,
just
a
reach
lot of
out."
people did reach out though.
Oh, I
That,
saw some
that
of the comments.
yeah, and some people reached out in private because they were honestly concerned. They were really concerned.
That's so okay. You know
That
what?
filled my heart with joy.
We haven't actually said what we're talking about. I've just
Oh yes,
realized
we have.
we've just gone into the
Yeah.
whole. We know what we're talking about. Tell us what we're talking about.
Okay, so we're talking about this campaign that uh, I mean I've been in for the past week, 2 weeks, almost three, about this new single that I've released that is called OnlyFans with a space in the middle. And then there's that platform that with the blue logo that we all know that doesn't have the space in the middle. And there is this whole conversation behind it. There's this whole protest behind this. As you may know, I've released other albums with the aim, with the goal to make people think and to inform the consumer of music, because we have, whether you like it or not, musicians and content creators, we are creating something and people will consume that, right?
Mm.
And if they don't consume that and they're not aware of what's going on behind the curtains, then we're just being exploited by the platforms we think we're using, but they're
Yeah.
using us. So in the end, basically what I said is that I'm giving up music. I'm going to be an adult content creator on OnlyFans because that pays more than music. Definitely 100% pays more than music platforms, because recently not only a song So there's no difference between a song that is 32 seconds and 20 minutes, right? Of course, there is a difference on our side. If I go to the studio and I'm making a classical piece, there's a construction site under my window today. I'm so sorry. I hope
That's
it doesn't really.
okay. I was half worrying I'd be the same because there's a house next door that's doing a lot of banging recently. So, but they
There we
haven't
go.
started yet today.
Well,
So
the banging is in topic, definitely. And so basically, what happens is that there's no difference between a song that is 32 seconds long and 20 minutes long. Of course, if I'm a musician and I go to a studio and I want to record a song, say a classical suite with classical musicians, and then you want to master that on tape, which is usually what I do, that costs a lot of money. And it's longer than 31 seconds. But if you look at my discography, there's songs that are 31 seconds. And that is because most streaming platforms, if not all of them, I believe Apple Music's threshold is 41 seconds or 45 seconds. Anyways, it's still unfair because the rest of the song is rubbish. So once you clock in that 31 seconds, 45, whatever, so less than a minute, that counts as a play, but the rest of the song is worthless. So might as well just make 100% of the profit with 100% of what you do. And that's what I did in 2019. Then that worked magically. I did not expect that. So in 2020, with my former partner, we made 366 songs again to protest. And now we have this crazy new idea from Spotify, which is on their side, we're trying to limit the streaming fraud. Perfect. That's great. How do you limit that? Artists don't get paid until they reach 1,000 streams. This is ridiculous. Not only we were in a situation where you don't have any other option for work, and your boss says you're still going to do all 8 hours, but I'm going to pay 1 hour for you. Okay. Now we're talking about you're going to work 1 hour, but you're going to be paid 1 hour for a year, say something like that. And I'm not paying you until the end of the year, until you reach then, because I have to trust you, right? You have to tell me, I have to be sure that you're not frauding me, right? This is the fraud, and it's not the big pot that gets split into whoever does the most streams. It's a pro rata system, so it's flawed by default, you know.
Yeah.
This is what we're working with. So I decided to be an adult content creator, jokingly, of course.
I hope so. I'm actually pretty scared. I've been very scared to click. I'll tell you why in a minute. But when you talk like that about Spotify, I completely resonate with what you're saying. I mean, a couple of years ago, quite mainstream singers took their content off of Spotify because they realized exactly what you were talking about. As YDM Radio Brighton, as you know, it's about unsigned artists. It's about playing your guys' music. And from the beginning, I didn't want to stream. I don't want to use the streaming services. I want artist. Thank you. I want the artist to send me their MP3s, their WAV files, and I will play their music without that interruption. And it's interesting because some don't understand that and just send me the link. Oh, you've got me on Spotify. I'm like, no, I don't play Spotify.
Yeah.
I use Spotify for research here and there, sure, but I will not play because I know that YDN is part of that PPI, so the songs do get registered, and I mean I'm very aware that again it's not 0.1, you know, if at all you see it. I get that it's not any better, but like you say, those streaming services don't pay you. And I'm always trying here to create a relationship, as you know, in order to, you know, when we get funding, we put on gigs. And as you know, and others that evening, we pay. And we, you know, it's about valuing the artist. So I'm really glad that you're talking about this. We had another artist a couple of years ago called Verity in the States who spoke to our back then presenter, Ali Malik. And she was saying the same thing, that she was signed. She knew the world of being signed, but it's all, like you say, kind of fraud. They take over. She went independent. She's gigging, you know, she's doing her own thing. And I am really glad that you've brought this to light, because I think and independent artists need to understand that. And because I sometimes when I did the membership, I got this just one artist email going, I don't know, oh, you think 7,000's a lot? We get more on. I'm like, well, actually, it's not about that.
No.
It's
Yeah.
actually not about that. I did actually respond to him because you don't respond to bad
Yeah.
behavior. But it's great that you're bringing it to light, and I'm really, really happy that we're discussing this because I think people need to hear it. So when I saw OnlyFans, and this is where I say I'm a bit kind of cautious to click on
Yeah.
it, what will we see? Because what you showed on your videos with a lovely lady behind you,
Yeah.
yeah, what's going on?
So basically, we decided the video is a collaboration between me and Alexandra, who's the model, and Wanalog, who's the director. So when we listened to the song, I already had an idea as I was writing the song. I would say this was like it was a whole concept from the beginning. So as I was writing the lyrics, I realized that this had to come out with a certain type of release strategy. And that release strategy was about breaking the fourth wall and making people concerned about the state of artists nowadays. Because a lot of people actually sadly did that. This shift in career that I said, because clearly you get more money there and
Oh,
your body is always with you. You don't have to buy equipment. That equipment costs money. You know, you don't have to buy a studio or anything like that. You just need a phone and yourself. And it's incredibly sad. But at the same time, it's a sign of our times. It's what we've designed the internet to be. And what happens in this video basically is that it was the 23rd. It was what a way to to get into the winter season. It was the 23rd of December last year, 2023, and we rented a studio in I don't remember. I think it was North London, something like that. And then basically we went there and with the idea of making a music video for the song, but for it to have a lot of angles where it's open to interpretation. So there's a lot of angles where you look at that and you're like, oh my God, he's doing that. And then the camera shifts and they're like, oh no, actually, it's like just, I don't know, shaking a can, something like that. That actually happens. Or like a solo or anything like that. So there's a lot of times where the music aspect and the musical instrument aspect is not, I wouldn't say sexualized, but more like objectified. It is an object, but as a musician, it becomes part of your essence. It becomes part of you and an extension of your body. And then in that video, there's a bit of destruction as well. And there's a lot of play on words and a lot of play on concepts.
well,
We all know what.
we know you like that.
Yeah.
We
So
know you
in
like a plain
video,
language. And let's be honest, you're not the first artist to,
oh yeah,
sexualize your instruments, objectify them, tell us that your guitar is your sexy lady, and whatnot, and give innuendos. And it's all part of who we are as human beings, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
I guess what my question is also, when we click on that OnlyFans, what are we actually going to see? Because
You are not going to see anything when you click on that video.
okay.
So there's no pop-ups or anything like that. There are two contents available for purchase. One was clearly a clickbait, and I was still in the middle of the campaign where people still didn't know if I was actually doing that or not. Funny thing, my band members that are in the recording contacted me and were like, "Are you okay? Is this actually happening?" And I'm like, "Dude, I told you." This is the whole thing coming together. I told you like 2 weeks ago when we were in the studio last year and everything. This is it.
This is
Yeah.
it.
Anyways, when you click on that link, there's the picture, which I'll probably pull from there because it's just simply a picture of me and Alexander eating celery. So nothing sexual about that. But it's one of those locked posts where you have to pay. So the subscription to my OnlyFans is free, and it will. This whole full disclosure, this whole channel will probably exist only for another month, and then I'll just delete it and put it on YouTube because the content is available. Will be available on YouTube. It's possible to put it on YouTube because there's nothing not safe for work, let's say.
Yeah.
what you would do is you would purchase the video for $5, and then
Hmm.
I think there's a fee of $1 that the website gets. Still better than Spotify and YouTube and everything. And what I'm doing is I would like to donate all of the revenue from that video from that platform to Music Venue Trust, which is the
Yeah,
you know
I saw
charity
that
that
link.
tries to
Yeah.
say yeah. So
I thought
I've
it was I wasn't sure if it was you in partnership with them or you are actually raising for them. Are they
No,
aware
I'm
of
just raising for them.
Mhm.
The all the revenue from the 366 song album, which was also pretty substantial because you know if you do the maths, it's a very short songs and 6 hours of music. So whoever
Yeah.
went through that generated a lot of revenue, and all of that has been donated to Music Venue Trust. That was during COVID, so it was really helpful for them. I mean, they really needed it. It's not like
Yeah.
they said thank you, and I shouldn't really be like I'm not bragging. I'm just for the sake of history, right?
Yeah.
So I will do the same with this, just so you know. It's not
Yeah.
just a way like a clickbaity way of promoting my single and making a lot of money. I'm looking to donate those money, and
Which is incredible, really. And also, I think you're opening everyone's eyes today about OnlyFans because, I mean, let's be honest, I'm just as bad as anyone else. When you hear about OnlyFans, you think that is literally just a platform for sexual content, which is
yeah,
fine. You know, absolutely fine. I've watched
it'll be fun.
documentaries. Everyone's entitled to do what they want to do, and I get it, making money. I get it. I mean, there's plenty of celebrities out there that, I mean, Nicki Minaj is famously one of them, isn't it? That used to be
I have no
a
idea.
pole dancer, stripper, or whatever before,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's about money, right? So it's no judgment there at all, but that's what you understand OnlyFans to be. So you've actually said, okay, it was not actually that at all. It's actually also a place where you can put up content. But of course, the image of OnlyFans made everyone contact you with concern. And
exactly.
my fear of clicking was, I love him. He's my artist. I don't know if I want to see his Willie.
Exactly,
I don't think
exactly.
I'm ready for that. And
That is all my
you
friends
know.
have been telling me. Yeah,
I mean,
friends and
kudos to
fans.
you if you wanted to do that, absolutely
No, no, no,
fine.
no. But
No worries at all. I get it. Consented adults,
exactly.
as you said in your video, but it was hard for me to click. I will click
I
now
know. I
because,
know. I
well,
know. It,
and also it's like it's insane what you're doing as well. Like you need to make a living. You have a job as a sound engineer, as you said earlier, um, and you're doing this, and you're actually going to be donating the money on top of that. Like you don't need it. I mean, you need it.
no, I mean, it's not
It's
like
not about
I don't
that.
need it. It's not like that. It's just that the cause is more, and the message is more important than me having a couple more dinners out in a month, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean, if I can do something good, I'm the first in line to do that, and that's always at the. It's not at the back of my mind; it's at the forefront. I'm always thinking about how I can, I don't know, utilize my content and my platform, as small as it is, as little as it is, uh,
Yeah.
to make some change, to drive some change. And the most important thing is to instruct people. I mean, nobody really knows how the streaming platforms work. I have a very silly example is my aunt that is in my family, is in my Spotify family group, right? And she hardly ever listens to anything else that other than my music, right? Just to support me, just to be like,
Sure.
oh, she lives in Italy, and I'm here in London, so
Biggest
sometimes
fan.
she listens to my music. And when I told her that, because she was like, "Oh, I bet I've generated a lot of money for you. Like I'm like sending you tips when I'm listening to your songs on Spotify." I'm like, that's not how it works. Even if you listen only to me, Drake, Taylor Swift, just to name a few, whoever's done the latest album this month, they're gonna get the biggest share of your subscription, which is still my subscription because I'm paying that because it's the family. Anyways, it's a weird scheme, but that's how it works. As sad as it sounds, even if you were to open the Spotify account just to listen to the one artist that you want to support on for the whole duration of a month, all of those streams and revenue and everything will go into the big pot, and it will be divided by whoever has done the most streams during that month.
Yeah.
If this isn't criminal, you tell me what is.
Yeah.
Because
So people get off Spotify, eh? Yeah,
yes.
I was speaking to another artist the other day, actually. I'm not going to say her name because I haven't asked her permission, but we met up to catch up. And to be fair, she was saying the same thing. As great as it is to see that her band is getting thousands and thousands of streams, and it's great to reach out to that audience, no one sees any revenue. No one.
How are we supposed to earn in
Mm,
general?
mm,
So we live in a generation where we are all enabled by the internet to be artists, to be whatever the hell we want. You just need a domain and you can create a fake business if you want. If you want to make a real business, you go to town, go for it. Okay. But how are we supposed to make money? If you're an artist, if you're a musician, you write your own songs, if you have enough money, you have some equipment, you record your own songs. So you make it, even if you made it budget, right? You made it like very, very cheap. You don't book a studio, you don't book musicians, it's all like bedroom produced. And then you put it on SoundCloud, and then people start listening to it. I'm just telling my own story, basically, but most people do that, right? So from SoundCloud, you decide you want to go big, and you're going to go and record and just actually have it mastered by someone, just because mastering is really important. And you put it on Spotify, and that expense is never recouped. If you want to make merch, you make merch, and then what are you going to do? You're going to sell that merch at the gigs, and most people don't have cash, so you have to have a way to. So it's a pot that's leaking everywhere, left and right, and you just keep putting stuff in it, and it just keeps going down. And I feel like when I looked at, I've had the pleasure to work with some artists now recently. Was very lucky, and these very famous artists, let's say. And I've spoken to them, I've looked into their eyes, and I can see the same resentment. I can see the same disillusion that I have, that most artists have. And it's so funny because being a sound engineer, most people don't know that I'm both sides of the blade, let's say. So I know both worlds, and I speak to the musicians, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's just very difficult, but you wouldn't understand." But I do understand, and then they start, and then they go off, and I know what they're talking about because we get to live this every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's definitely it's fine. I don't think it's a moan in any way. It is fact. Being an artist is hard. Every generation, every decade brings a new challenge, but it's definitely hard. And I love how the way you deal with it is to create conversation and to create a kind of impact in your own way, like you said, whether it's one follower or hundreds or thousands, it doesn't matter, isn't it? It's to create a ripple. And I think at the end of the day, I know that is exactly what makes you in particular and anyone else an artist, is creating that ripple and creating that conversation, because that's what it's about. And through that, people, see, hear, get influenced, and probably out there you've created some kind of change. I mean, already you have created change. The money that you've made, you're donating, it will create a change for them. It's those little ripples, isn't it, that we have to make, and that's the artist in you, and really applaud you for it, and thank you for creating that ripple. I haven't received your music as yet, but you did say you wanted to talk about it, so I can't ask any questions. Just like I'm really excited to hear the new music, because it's been a while since you sent us new music, and like all artists, reminders. Oh my, can you please send? You know how many times I remind artists, can you send anything new, please?
Of course.
Yes, we will. And weeks go by, and I'm like, where is it?
You're still with the music from the year before.
Hey, look,
that.
it's all good music, but if there's new stuff, tell us about it. What have you created that's new?
So there's this project that I've been doing, interpolating my discography with these activist projects and albums that I've done. But in reality, there's always been a thread, and this album that I'm working, well, that we have finished recently. This is the third installment of a trilogy, maybe a tetralogy. I'm not sure, I'm very tired as an artist. I'm tired of being Giack Bazz. So I don't know how long I will be Giack Bazz for, but this is definitely the closure of sorts of the concept that started with Giack Bazz is not famous and
Mhm.
continued last year with just a little bit more famous. And now there's this new album. I can't disclose the name. It's probably online already. Somebody must have taken it from some press releases. It's incredible how many people can read press releases and get stuff wrong and just announce the wrong information at the wrong time. But anyways, it's just because I do everything myself. So I write that press release and I'm very like I put it in bold. I'm like, just don't say this before this date. And then it happens, and I'm like, I'm not even going to chase them. Thank you for doing that, though, and whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I
this,
understand. I get those emails as well. Here's what I say. Please don't play it before. I do my best. Sometimes because of that, though, I kind of, in a sense, forget about it
yeah,
because I
yeah, because
don't
it
want
has
to
to be
make the
put
mistake.
aside.
And then sometimes, like when I file it, I put a date on it to remind
Mm.
myself, don't play before that date. I'm not perfect. I'm sure I've done it myself,
But
but
that
hey ho.
that sound very good. I will pass it on to content creators
Should
out there. Please archive and put the date.
Oh God, so many. I archive and sometimes even put the artist's Instagram tag because, oh my goodness me, I can't tell people how long it takes to tag the list.
Everyone. Oh yeah,
Uh, and also finding the right one.
yeah, of course, because there's a lot of
There's
people that have
have the
similar
same name.
names.
Yes,
Just
or I am at music studio.
yeah,
And then,
like
and
there's a full stop here. There's not a full stop there. There's a
yeah,
semicolon.
right.
They
So
should
at
have.
least well, just give us a heads up if you change your name. That's what I'm going to say. Also, changing pictures. I would say, people, please don't change your picture.
Yeah, I did
Yeah, it's
recently.
just so small on
Sorry.
the picture helps. I mean, it was yellow suit forever for you. Yellow suit, yellow suit. Now there's no yellow suit. There's no hair.
No,
What
there's no
happened to
hair.
your hair?
I'm doing a hair loss treatment. I've got.
Hair
I've
lost.
started
You
it. I'm
had a
six
head of
months in.
hair. What?
I know. That's why I want it back, right? So I'm getting used to being, like Billy Corgan or whatever. And if it doesn't work, if it works, I'll just grow another head of hair. I just need a couple more months, and then I'll try and start growing it again. But we'll see.
Okay.
Anyways, that is the thing. And then secondly, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the album.
The
Well,
album.
it's clearly the I've been through a bad end of relationship in 2022. And my former partner was my producer and my partner in crime, I would say. Everything was conjured together. So I was all alone. And it was the first time I started writing songs just again for myself on my own in a very lonely place when I mean, when somebody leaves and you're the one that's left behind, you don't have the change of scenery, right? To wake you up every morning. And so that sparked the songwriting process of the album. And as I was regaining and reclaiming and conquering rooms in my house, it's just a 2-room house, but I mean, honestly, for the first time, I was this what I'm looking at. I was sleeping on the couch for months, and then I started writing these songs, and I called all of my friends. And when I say all of my friends, I mean it. All of my musical friends that I've ever been involved in a project, they came to the studio. And this was December 2022. So I really needed that. And then July, we recorded Come Te, which is that Italian song. I will send that to you too, but it's in Italian.
Please do. I don't care. You send it because
It's a good
I love
song.
it.
It's a good song. It's just
I'm
it
sure.
might be difficult to understand. But anyways, after that, in the summer we recorded that, and then I realized I wanted to add something, and the eight or nine songs weren't enough. So we went again December 2023 in the same studio with more people. I made more friends. I don't know what to say. So we recorded all of that, and we had an orchestra section.
Wow.
So
Okay,
And
now I'm getting really excited to
it's
hear
really,
this.
it's really, really cool. It was my second time composing for orchestra, and with my background, I pay my bills as a sound engineer, but I have a background in composition. I went to university for songwriting and composition, so
Yeah.
um, but I never really did that um, outside of my computer. And now that I've done that, I feel I'm really proud. I'm humbly proud because I didn't know I was capable of doing that, and I
Sure.
actually pulled it off. And when you make something, you write it on your computer, and it sounds good, and then you go there's the when you go to the studio to actual musicians, there's always that fear that they're like, I can't play this. This is too fast. Like I'm here and then I have to be there. Like especially with like linear instruments like the trombone, which is one of my favorites. Sometimes you're just not as fast,
Mm.
right? Uh, and again, magically, everything worked, and all the musicians were like, "These are great parts. I can play them." They played them. I was happy. End of the day, we had the whole orchestra recorded. So
No,
it's really
that's
exciting,
amazing because you
and the
haven't
message
recorded or
there.
orchestrated music yet. This is the first. This is
It's the first time. There might have been something like um, some VST, some plugins that sound like strings or something like that in the past. In the past, but yeah, in this new album, everything is acoustic instruments, and there's a lot of
wow.
electronic. So basically, it's just like the two faces of my musical journey. So there's on one side there is the electronic production and this kind of different direction I'm heading to, and then there's the usual me
Mm.
when yeah with all we have one song with seven different guitars in it, and
Well,
I'm not like seven overdubs of guitar, seven people playing different lines of guitar at the same time plus the orchestra. That was
that's
wild.
amazing.
It
All
was
right, that's it. We need that music, and I need it now. Um,
it over.
consider considering what you've told us and the first part of the interview talking about Spotify and industry, and now talking about this amazing new music that you've created, and it really does sound amazing because also I don't think people sometimes realize what effort it makes to get all these people in the studio as well,
Oh my god.
and to do it out of love. And that's another thing, there's a lot of controversy sometimes between artists out there. "Oh, I'm not doing anything for free. I'm not doing anything for, I won't work for free." But hey, that's our industry. To create something amazing, collaboration is key, and money has to kind of sometimes go aside. I'm sure you bought them beers and coffee or whatever it is, because you're that
It
kind of
take care
guy.
of all of
There you go. So with the listeners listening to this, and we're going to play your new music, they love it. They want to support you. They want to buy it.
Mm.
Where would they do that?
So I've always had and I've been good. I've been keeping it up to date with all the stock and everything. I have a Bandcamp, so that's my website where people can buy my merch and everything. And there's all my physical releases on there. Uh, Aside from the ones that are sold out, sadly or luckily, I don't know, depending on the point of view. Um, there will be a physical version of this album, which will be really cool. Like I'm an audiophile. I like vinyl. I buy vinyl for myself, and this is just when I make something, I make it just the same as I make music. So I'm thinking about something. I have an idea. I look out for it. It's not there. I have to do it.
Yeah,
Not just because somebody will buy it because it's not there, but just because I want to do it because I have to get it out of my head,
yeah,
and then it's there. So
yeah,
there will be a physical version, and it will be on streaming platforms. Just the one thing, the one detail is that you won't get the full picture if you don't buy the vinyl. This is all I'm going to say. There is some stuff that is on only on the record, and that is nowhere else to be found. So if you just listen to the streaming and the MP3s or whatever, you won't get the big pictures. And as always, there's a lot of messages and codes and stuff in my music. So yeah, there's
well, I think we'll have to reconvene this once it's all out. So Bandcamp is the place you would prefer people to go to.
a place
That
to go.
service is way more in favor of artists. I assume that is why.
Yeah.
Also, as you say, you'll be putting it on Spotify. Um,
It will be on streaming platforms. It just will be incomplete, I would say. Let's put it this way.
So you caught me distracted. My phone's ringing and it's my commercial agent. And
Oh.
I went for an audition yesterday.
Oh, it must be good news.
Uh,
Take
fingers. Should I take it now? I
it,
take it. Okay.
please.
Okay. Hi, Rob. I'm good. How are you? Yes, of course. Well, would it be a morning in London or okay, morning if possible, morning if possible, but yes. Okay. That's well, sounds good. Okay, bye. Okay.
Potential.
No, but yes, exactly. I've never had a call asking if I'm available for a fitting Friday.
Oh, that is great. That is great news.
Getting closer. Anyway, sorry for the disturbing there. I'll tell the listeners after this whether I got the job or not. Doesn't
Yes, please.
matter.
I want
It's
to know.
no, I'll text you. I'll text you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And my eyes keep ski whiffing because of course I don't have a Zoom thingy, so there's 2 minutes left. But I'm
Oh, yeah.
glad to hear that we can see it on Bandcamp. We're going to get it from you soon, so we'll be playing it to give people a taste so that they do go out and buy it.
Mhm.
Giack Bazz, we love you.
Thank
We just
you. I
do.
love you too.
We just
Thank you
do.
for the continued support and
Oh,
all
thank you.
that really helps.
You
Yeah,
know, we're not always sure, but we just keep going. And I think what we've learned is that consistency is key, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah.
Consistency is key. So
And
let's just carry on doing what we're doing, Giack.
yeah, exactly. I mean, with I'm sad to say I've survived my first the venue that got me to play first here in the UK. My career has survived that venue. It was a grassroots venue. It's now closed.
Mm.
I played in another venue last year, another grassroots venue in South London, and now it's closed, and so like permanently closed. So this is
I'm
why I
trying
care
to
about
end
music
on a
venues.
positive,
Well,
Giack.
this is why I care about music venues.
Okay.
Look at my adult content, and we'll save those venues. How does that sound?
Save the venues and create more. And that, it's not being funny, but you know, in some way, that's why I say consistency is key. We're not going anywhere. I know we're grassroots, we're funding, we never have money for anything until we do. And when we do, as you know, we create. That in the behind the scenes hasn't stopped. We graft, you graft, and together amazing things happen. Jack, thank you so much for your time today. It's great to catch up. We'll do it again. And
Absolutely.
you take care.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Have a great day.